Hey guys, how the hell are ya? Time today for an all-new rebiased gear review. On this thing that I have hated since the moment I first plugged into one 2 decades ago. The Peavey 5150. So first of all, some specs, but to be honest, most of you guys know this thing by now. It is a 120 watt head with 6 L6 power amp tubes, 12 AX7 tubes in the preamp section. It is a 2-channel head with a shared EQ, also with a resonance and presence knob on the power amp section. We do have bright and crunch switches for the clean channel, as clean as it gets, I should say. You have front panel channel switching, you have a high gain and a low gain input. So I already know what you guys are going to say. You're going to say, dude, this is an amp with such a storied, hallowed history. It is revered in high-gain chug riff circles for its tone that has appeared on countless records, not just in use by the person whose name is actually printed on here. Yes, this is one of the original block letter versions that I have here. But, dude, I have tried, man. All right? Through playing guitar in several different bands with other band members who have owned these things, hating the tone that I've always heard coming from their heads. I actually, at one point, took the plunge and I bought a block letter when was it? About 2010. I bought a block letter and I owned it for maybe a month before I got rid of it because, god damn it, I just could not make it sound good. And that's kind of always been my opinion. I cannot make this thing sound good for the life of me. To me, it sounds like ass in the room. It doesn't do what I want it to in a recording situation, regardless of what everyone else thinks. So it has been a long-ass time since I've legitimately plugged into one of these things. I've plugged into the Fender-made EVH brand, and I've had a bit better luck with that, but it has probably been maybe 8 years since I've plugged into an actual Peavey 5150. Now I know a little bit more about what I'm doing from a recording standpoint. I know a little bit better about dialing in an amp. I know a little bit more about the history of this and some various tone settings that a bunch of really, really kick-ass artists have used on this. So let's try it again. Let's see if we can change my opinion on this thing, or let's see if I still think that this is an overrated piece of shit. For the purposes of this tone demo, I will be using my Solar S1.6 Pubba, which is loaded with the stock Duncan Solar pickups. Okay, so without further ado, let's turn this thing on. Let's see what it does, if it's any improvement on what I'm used to in the past. Wow, that is way different than I remember it. Let's just go to the clean just to get out of the way. Yep, still doesn't really do the clean thing at all. Alright, back to the task at hand. Fuck the clean tone. Some of that kind of new classic metal kind of tone right there, like Grand Magus or something. If I remember how to play it. That's the volume, basically. I forgot. This thing has way more oomph than I remember it having. Oh, but there's that background noise I remember it having. that actually cleaned it up considerably. I seem to recall a sweet spot on this amp was having this thing up past 5, but bring it back down to 4. That's definitely plenty of gain on tap for pretty much any real application. That's a pretty kick-ass tone right there. So, as you can see, EQ 6, 5, 7, power amp about 3.5 on the resonance and 6 on the presence. And that's getting some pretty awesome tone with the pre-gain only at about a 4. Way, way, way different than I remember this thing being. Flat out. So overall, my final thought on this thing is that this is giving off such a better vibe and such a better tone than I remember it having. It's not as big of a revelation as when I had the Triple X in here. That to me was mind-blowing because I fucking despised that amp. This one was always one where I was like, you know, I hate it, but at the same time, I can at least attest that other guitar players running into it made it sound good. Me, I just never had that kind of luck. In this situation, running this thing into the torpedo captor and then running that into 2 Notes Wall of Sound sounded so massive, sounded so much better with a variety of different cabs and impulse responses that I loaded into it. Like, I just got so much better results, some super meaty crunch, a little bit of noise, but that was easy to dial back. There again, put the pre-gain around 4, and all of a sudden problem is solved, and you still have totally enough gain. I absolutely loved this thing now. Is it something that if one were to come up, I would buy it? I don't necessarily know about that just because the 5150 up to this point has never really been my style. But goddamn, if running the Solar into it didn't kind of give me those much talked about, much respected, much revered 5150 tones. And that was without even running a boost into this. This is also pretty much a stock 5150, a block letter 5150. There have been some repairs done with a few caps here or there being replaced with ones that were the exact same value as the original schematic. And also this has a recently serviced bias section that made it a little bit hotter and is running 6L6JJ power amp tubes in it. Is that having a huge impact on the opinion that I have? Probably not as big of an impact on it, but what I will say is that definitely my opinion has changed and I am loving the sound that I'm getting out of this. One final thing, let me also give a shout out to my buddy Mr. Brandon for bringing this sucker over here and letting me do this video for you guys. Thank you so much. So that's it for me. Leave a comment in the comment section below, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and by the way, remember to find me on my Twitch channel because now we are doing very, very regular music production streams and I'm having an absolute blast doing it and I can't wait to keep doing more and more of those for you guys. So twitch.tv/ArnoldPlaysGuitar. I'm looking forward to seeing you in that chat section.